Welcome to the live stream. Yesterday, we were talking a little bit about going to Panama in Central America. Now, if you were in Panama and you decided to slow travel the world, one of the places you perhaps would think about going is taking a car, crossing the border into Costa Rica to the north. Now, Costa Rica, it's one of the most popular tourist destinations in Central America, especially for the United States. Now, it's really not a very big place. It's pretty small, really. Costa Rica, it's just about the size of West Virginia in the United States. Now, it's bordered by Nicaragua on the north, and it's bordered by Panama on the south. To the east is the Caribbean Ocean, and to the west is the Pacific Ocean. Now, things to think about in Costa Rica is, one, it may be one of the most biodiverse places on the planet. Now, by that, I mean, you want beaches? It's got beaches. You want the densest of rainforests? It has them. You want waterfalls? You got it. You want to go whitewater river rafting? You can do it. It's just got so much biological diversity within the country that there's a lot to see and a lot to do. Now, even though it's only the size of West Virginia, it gets about, well, let's say back around 2019, pre-pandemic, it would get about 4 million U.S. tourists that would come down just to visit for a little while. Now, personally, I have a friend that I've known for a long while who married a woman from Costa Rica. He's got 4 children, and he lives in Costa Rica and travels back and forth to the United States a couple times a year. Does some work up in the United States and goes back to Costa Rica where his family is, and he loves it. Loves it in Costa Rica. He still American citizen, but he loves living down there. Now, the downside of Costa Rica is Costa Rica tends not to be as inexpensive as some places, partly because of its tourist-related economy and its popularity. And also, it has a reputation, at least in the last decade or so, of being one of the more safest places to go, which some people might not think of, but Costa Rica is really a relatively safe place to go. Now, what you need to avoid in Costa Rica is you really shouldn't hang around the tours unless you got a lot of money. They've got tours for everything. You want to go zip lining through the jungle, there's a tour for it. You want a whitewater raft, there's a tour for it. Now, there's a lot you can see on your own. The food's good. One of the things that's a little bit unique, even the smallest restaurants, I understand, in Costa Rica have like a 10% quote unquote service charge that they will put on each check, along with about a 13% dining tax. But along with that 10% service charge, they don't expect you to tip in Costa Rica on top of that. So you can figure whatever it is, it's going to be about 23% on top of it. But the food's good, but it's not inexpensive. Costa Rica, for some reason, you're not going to get the same live inexpensively in Costa Rica that you could in some places. And that goes for Panama now, too. Panama's just been so overrun by people who are expatriated from Western countries that the prices naturally go up because of supply and demand. There's a lot of demand for it down there and in Costa Rica. But Costa Rica is really a pretty good place to hang out in. It's a great place to visit. Depending on what you want, it's a lot like Panama in the fact that if you want to hang by the ocean, it's going to be a lot warmer. If you want to go away from the ocean, you're going to go uphill for the most part. And your change in elevation is going to give you a lower temperature. Now, because it's a little farther north of Panama, it doesn't have quite this equilibrium of temperatures. Although Costa Rica doesn't have 4 seasons like most of the United States. It has a rainy season, and that goes from basically May through December. And it has a non-rainy season that goes from January to May. So those are its seasons, rainy or not rainy. Now, during the rainy season, you'll find accommodations down there a little bit less expensive. Most people would rather go down through the dry season than the rainy season because it's my understanding when it rains, it pours. So anyway, that's our topic for today. How you could decide to take a trip and spend a little bit of time, a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, and in Panama, which is relatively easy to get into it as a tourist. And in Costa Rica is relatively easy on being able to be a tourist there. Now, actually, setting up full-time residence there would have a lot different requirements and above the scope of this, but it all boils down to the research that you do. But it's a safe country. It's overlooked is just how nice of a place it is. And I really trust my friend who's lived down there for years, and he loves it. Absolutely loves it. Loves the people. The people are warm and kind, and they don't hate Americans, not as a general rule. So that's Costa Rica. Come back for the next video, which you'll see a link to pretty shortly. Thank you very much. Have a great night.